Thank you, Chairwoman Napolitano, and thank you to the witnesses for your testimony. I've got some pictures I would like to show, and we seem to get wrapped around the wheel a lot on regulations and what they mean, but I want to talk about something that's happening in my state that Secretary Keogh may or may not be aware of, but what you see here is a photograph of water irrigation system. This is surface water coming right out of the Arkansas River. You can see it's got kind of a brown color to it. It's got quite a few nutrients in it. If you don't know the geography, the Arkansas River flows into the Mississippi River, which goes into the Gulf. So the algal blooms and the things we see in the Gulf, a lot of that are attributed to nutrients flowing downstream. And I wanted to show this because this shows what the private sector is doing, how they're usually way ahead of us. And there's a lot of benefits to a surface water irrigation system like this. Number one, this is in rice country, and if you know, it takes a lot of water to grow rice. And for years, we've pumped water out of the Sparta aquifer to flood those rice fields, also to do other row crop irrigation. That aquifer is depleting, which it's very pure drinking water. A lot of areas rely on that water for drinking. So getting water out of the river versus the Sparta is a good thing. Also, if we could do something to clean this water up, what you see in this picture is the same water. It's just been through this irrigation district. And simply what they do is they use the water over and over. They capture the tailwater off of one crop, they pump it back into the reservoir, they move it down and irrigate another crop. The success story of this is it's also been able to cut the irrigation cost in half for farmers who are in this water irrigation district. It doesn't require Sparta water, and it's obviously removing sediments and nutrients out of the water. And the only water that you're losing through the irrigation loop is a little bit of infiltration and evaporation. So this water would end up back in the Arkansas River flowing downstream. I show this because one problem that is being faced here is that there appears to be considerable opportunities for establishing water quality trading programs around the nation. And my question is, why aren't we seeing more trading occurring currently? If we look at nutrient trading and nutrient offsets, what are the main impediments to establishing a successful water quality trading program? And Secretary Keogh, I'll ask you that first, what you see on the state level, and then I'll open it up to the other panelists.
Well, thank you, Congressman. Arkansas is committed and has formed a nutrient trading rule-making committee now through the Pollution Control and Ecology Commission to advance nutrient trading, as you speak to, understanding that that has true benefits potentially for nutrient management, both to deal with the Arkansas-Oklahoma issue I mentioned in testimony, but also as we look at the Gulf hypoxic zone. So we look forward to those advancing. I think the barriers at this point have been somewhat at the federal level, and I know that this administration has spent and recently reissued a direction to the states on how to implement a watershed management system that could invoke or encompass a trading regime. So we look forward to working with EPA on that. We believe in today's world, our ag community as well as our industry understands that a strong economy for them relies on effective and strong environment. And likewise, we believe that effective, strong environment leadership is benefited by a strong economy. So we look forward to that opportunity to tap into those opportunities.
Does any other panelists have any expertise in this area and would like to make a comment?
If I could, Mr. Westerman, the concept of trading has been around for quite a while. It has met with modest success is how I would characterize it. It's a couple of different reasons, often centering around enforceability, accountability, and responsibility. We have found that in some instances, the agricultural interest is not interested in being part of the regulatory program, even though they may be stepping in to take on a responsibility of reducing nutrient loads. So there needs to be a way to bring people in without them having the fear that they are somehow going to become the regulated entity. And that's been a difficult hurdle for the states and for EPA to overcome. A lot of these trades are based on modeling, and there's some uncertainty. You can measure what comes out of a treatment plant. You can test it and measure it, but you have to model for these kinds of trades that use agricultural lands. And that has not been particularly successful yet either. I think conceptually, it has a lot of promise. I mean, it's very similar to what the AIR program has for cap and trade. I think is what you'll see as TMDLs come online, there will be a financial incentive for those who are regulated point sources to participate with non-regulated, non-point sources in the agricultural sector to reduce the nutrient loadings at a lower cost per unit of reduction. But there has to be some forcing mechanism, and that accountability has to be figured out among the parties. And I really, again, I think it's a good concept, but those are the hurdles that I see.
Thank you, and I'm way over my time, and I think if I'm going to vote, are you going to?
Yes, I'll ask a question, but you can.